I'm Kelly and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and this week I want to have a bit of a weird girl summer. So I have two books that I think are going to give me the weird summer girl vibes that I want. First up is I have a very long overdue TBR book, Monstrilio by Gerardo, Sámano, Córdova. This book focuses on, I don't know if it's necessarily weird girl. It's weird. I know that much. It focuses on a mother's grief. We have a mother whose child sadly passes away, and in her grief, in her depths of despair, she cuts out a piece of her son's lung and basically raises the lung baby, and it does not grow up to be as one would expect. I've heard this book is very emotional, and I'm hydrated, so I'm ready. I also have a book from the library called Sedating Elaine by Dawn Winter. I actually was recommended this. Well, not directly, but I saw somebody talk about it on Reddit and I was like, that sounds bizarre. Hello, I would like to read it. So I got it from the library. It focuses on a very dysfunctional relationship between Frances and Elaine. Frances wasn't looking to start a relationship or find anybody new, but when she met Elaine, she that kind of went out the window, didn't it? And all of a sudden, Elaine has moved in and this relationship is not going well. And Frances feels that the only option she has is to sedate Elaine. So there's that. Two very different vibes, but both very strange, I think. And I'm hopeful that I will get the strangeness and the weirdness that I'm very much craving this week. And if all goes well, maybe I'll even finish reading Workhorse, which I'm still really loving, but it's an audiobook and I'm not really in the mood for an audiobook just now, but I don't have the physical book and I'm really, really loving the book. I just want to read it with my eyes, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to read these and come back when I have updates. This is just a super quick update to let you know that I know that Monstrilio is not weird girl lit. I'm fairly certain that I introduced this video as being a weird girl lit vlog, and this book is not weird girl lit, but I'm really enjoying it. So we're just going to continue and pretend that I never made that declaration. There are weird girl elements. The main character, Magos, in the depths of her grief about losing her son Santiago, she cuts out a piece of her son's lung and basically cultivates it into a, I'm going to use the word creature right now. I don't know what his fate will be, but just now, very much creature feels the right word to go with. Entity, maybe, seems less offensive, really. I don't want to insult him. But this book has 4 different perspectives. We have the perspective of Magos, who is the grieving mother, and we get to sort of share her grief and the way that she is coping with the loss of her son. We also have Lena, who is her and her husband's a best friend. Lena has known them like forever, basically. Closest, close friend who's basically family. She's a doctor and we get to see her perspective as well as she is involved in the lung baby. I'm really struggling to say this name. We also have a perspective from Joseph. I had to take 4 shots to say that name. Why? He's the grieving father and he copes very differently to Magos. In the earlier sections in this book, I haven't got to his perspective yet, but in Magos's perspective, he has just gone into himself and I totally get that. I feel that's kind of how I have dealt with grief, is just shut everybody out, kind of carry it alone, which is not a great way to deal with things. And the final perspective, the book, I will show you. This is how I know. So it tells you the different perspectives that we have. I'm going to guess is Monstrilio, who is, I'm going to guess, the lung baby. Right now he is very much creature. He's got this tail that he just like swings from, but he's definitely doesn't look like anything else that you could imagine. He has a hunger though, and he has a hunger, and he's taken to eating the local pets, and that's going to be a danger because he's still quite tiny, but he's very strong and he's very hungry. He's got a lot of teeth, and I'm really enjoying this book. I'm really enjoying it as a sort of character study, as a look into how different people deal with grief, and it's very emotional for me, because I went into this going, well, first of all, I thought it was a weird girl lit book, so I thought like, yay, instant fun times, and totally forgetting that the main topic is it's grief, and I thought, oh well, I'm not a parent, I won't know a mother's grief. Yeah, I've not lived it, but I have seen my mother go through grief when we lost my sister, and that brought everything back, and I was not okay. So very emotional book for me, but I'm truly, truly loving it. I really like all of the characters. I really can't wait to get to the sections about, if I'm right, that M is Monstrilio and that Monstrilio is the lung baby. I'm really excited to get his perspective, because I would really like to know more about him. So I'm really enjoying this. I have barely made any progress in Sedating Elaine. Like, is that even showing 50-ish pages? And this book is 250 pages. So I'm like 20% in. I'm not loving it. I don't know. I think I need the book to start. So far I've met Frances, and Frances is not okay. Frances is not okay. She owes a lot of money to a drug dealer who is running out of patience, and she is going to get her if she can't pay up. So she decides to let her girlfriend that she does not like move in, and I need to go get post. I'm back. I'm expecting new bras. They're actually meant to come tomorrow, but I saw the post van because I'm in front of the window, and I thought, maybe, no, not for me. Anyway, I don't know how I feel about this. Frances is desperate. She's desperate, but she doesn't like her girlfriend at all. Her girlfriend's very annoying, and as an annoying person, I can say this. I find Elaine annoying, and I know I'm annoying, but Elaine takes over the room, and she brings a lot of stuff and a lot of noise, a lot of chaos, and Frances is kind of like, is this worth the money? And I'm like, it's going to be worth the money because they are going to hurt you. She is considering just sedating Elaine to make the time pass and make her girlfriend comatose and not annoying. I don't know. I'm also sort of reading this from a bank perspective. I used to work in a bank, and she needs the money by Sunday, and her girlfriend has set up a standing order to pay on Saturday. But standing orders generally don't pay on weekends, so that money is generally she's not gonna have the money till Monday. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe she's not set up a standing order. Maybe she set up an advanced chaps or faster payment or something. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not excited to pick it up. I don't want to pick it up, which is not the best thing. I'll read a bit more and see how I get on. I have so much news. Not even news, just updates. I have finished reading Monstrilio. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I was right. The final section is Monstrilio. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's just using context clues of the title. Going, well, who else is left? It can only surely be Monstrilio. I thought this book was just so beautifully written. It was such a Moorish book. I wanted to keep reading. I wanted to read more, and I found it really difficult to put down. I finished it in 3 days, during which I was working, and I was a busy little bee, but I made time for this because I truly wanted to read this. It wasn't weird girl lit, which is what I went in expecting, and that's fine. Absolutely fine. I'm happy to have a genre change, because it was me that assumed it was weird girl lit, not the book telling me that. I misunderstood. It doesn't feel overly horror either. Obviously there are some horror elements in it. I'm gonna call him because that's what he goes by himself. He has a hunger for flesh, basically. Fresh flesh. And that's horrific sometimes. I would say that's horrific. Because he just has impulse control that he struggles with. But this at its core truly was a story about grief and how people deal with grief in different ways, and how desperate people do desperate things. And I found that to be very, very relatable. I got too emotionally invested in this story. I saw too much of my own coping mechanisms in this book, and I felt seen and was a bit like, oh no, I'm Joseph. I don't want to be Joseph. I would say the horror elements, we've kind of got and his hunger, and Magos and her cutting out a piece of lung from her dead son and cultivating it into a being. But that's kind of all the horror. Really, it is just about life. And I feel like even though the actions of Magos feel, to an outsider, wild, to her they make sense. And she can justify everything. And I just feel that's how she is coping. That is what she has to do. And yeah, it's wild, but it works for her. Who am I to judge a grieving mother? I'm nobody to do that, and I won't. I really did enjoy seeing the disparity between the way that Joseph and Magos coped. They did not look to each other for comfort. They sort of went into themselves, and they had very different coping mechanisms. They dealt with things differently. People do. It felt really just real, and it felt so real. I loved as a character. I thought he was just adorable. Yes, he was eating people. And yes, he had a lot of teeth and he's very bitey, but I loved him. He was just so cute. And he was just a horny teenager by the end of the book, because the whole book, each of the 4 different perspectives, they cover the passages of time. So the entire book takes place over about 8 years. This was yet another book that was set partially in Berlin. Is this my sign? I love Berlin. I've been to Berlin precisely 1 time, and I absolutely adored it. And I went for a roller derby tournament. What was it called? Queen of the Track? I think that was it. That would have been about 2013, 2012, something like that. I could go and check. I have a t-shirt that I got at the event. It's a really nice t-shirt. I've gained too much weight to fit it, but I will be unstoppable when I fit it again one day, because it's really cute, but it has the date on it. Anyway, all of that is to say that I keep seeing signs for Berlin, and I'm like, do I need to go to Berlin? Or maybe I just read more books set in Berlin. I have 2 others, plus a reread that I plan to do later, all set in Berlin. Maybe it is my sign. This was just very vulnerable and raw depiction on grief and how it affects different people. And it is about love. It is about family. It is about seeing the best in the people you love, even though they have some destructive behaviours. And I cried. I absolutely just sobbed reading this. Amazing. 5 stars. Loved it. In other news, I needed something a little less, something that was going to make me cry. So I have gone back to my audiobook of Workhorse. I read 7 chapters. I'm really enjoying it. I've been reading this book since May. It's not the book's fault that it's taken me this long to get to it. It's the fact that I don't want to read it as an audiobook. I'm a petulant child. I don't want to read it as an audiobook. I want to read it with my eyes, but I have it as an audiobook. And for some reason, the audiobook, even though it is the official audiobook, there's a few bits here and there where the word just stops partway through. So I'm missing like half a word every couple of chapters, which isn't a lot, but it is enough to take me out of the book and make me go, wish I had the physical book. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It is, I think I described what this book was. Maybe I didn't. It takes place in the 2000s. We follow Clodagh. She goes by Chloe, who works in a fashion magazine. And it's set in the 2000s. I think I literally just said that. Let me repeat how much it's set in the 2000s. And it spans the decade. And it follows Clodagh as she tries to immerse herself into this world where she truly does not belong. And she is not one of them. She is not a generational wealth show pony. She has to do the grunt work. She is forgettable to people. She feels she's too tall. She's too big. And she's probably like a size 8. UK 8. Like, she's probably tiny anyway. It's just she's not 5'2", and she just sees herself as not fitting in, and it is about her determination and drive to fit in. And she does a lot of things that I'm like, Chloe, you've gone too far. You've gone too far. Everybody's awful in this book, but in a way that I enjoy. It's awful rich people. And even though Clodagh is not generational wealth, she's not broke. She went to a fantastic school. She has had a bit of an advantage in life. She's just not had as much as her colleagues, so she feels less than. I'm just really liking rich, unbearable people with their petty little problems. And it's just like little drama, and I love it. It's very reminiscent of all of the films I really liked in the 2000s that took place in New York in fashion magazines. Obviously, as a millennial, I love it. I'm getting ready to go get my hair cut because it's time. It's time for me to get my hair cut. I haven't had it done since February, and I'm very much having like a midlife crisis just now. I turned 40. I'm not okay. So obviously going to the hairdresser is stupid because I could make a bad decision, but I don't think I'm gonna. My hairdresser's my friend also. She won't let me. My hair's grown too long. I'm just going to sidebar and talk about my hair. Feel free to skip ahead. It's too long. And I feel when it gets to about here, it starts to just get scraggy. And I just think my hair's never going to be super long and healthy and thick. I don't have thick hair. I have really, really fine hair. I have a lot of really fine hair, and I don't fine wavy hair. So I'm thinking I'm going to get it to maybe like here. And I'm thinking long layers, maybe something in the face. I can't have a fringe because I have weird bits. But yeah, that's just to say I'm going to go get my hair cut. And I'm really excited. I really like my hairdresser. And it's nice to do something nice for yourself. I don't feel right. I feel scraggy. I feel unpolished. I never feel polished. Never. But I'm going to get my hair neatened up, and then maybe I'll feel better about myself. Who knows? Either way, I will come back and my hair will maybe be different. It will be different. I'll be back. It is update time. I have much to update you on. First though, I need to address the fact that my hair looks awful right now. It is nothing to do with my hairdresser. When I left the salon, my hair was bouncy, glorious. I had a jump in my step. And then I washed my hair, and then I tried to style it in the way I would normally style my long hair, forgetting that my hair is 4 inches shorter now. And I need to learn how to style it. I'm not good with change. I'm not good with change, even though I asked for it and I really liked it when it was done by somebody who knew what they were doing. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a woman with an air wrap. But I have updates. I will give you I went to Boots and I did a little shoppy shop. So I will show you what I got first, then we'll get onto the books. I don't know about anyone else, but when I'm at the hairdressers, staring at my own moon face for 45 minutes does nothing for my confidence. So I had to go to Boots and get goodies that will make me feel better about my face and how I look. So first of all, I did need to get a replacement for my toner. This is the Pixie Rose Tonic. This is the toner I have used for the last four-ish years. I love it. It's running low and it's always out, well, not always, almost always out of stock in the Boots in Aberdeen. So I usually have to get a little travel size and I go through it so quickly. But the big one lasts for ages. And the Pixie stuff was in a 2 for 3 offer, or a 3 for 2. That's probably the better way of saying it. So I got some eye patches. I love these. I like keeping them in the fridge and then putting them on, especially when the weather is horrific like it is now. It's just so muggy. And I like to depuff my under eyes. I only have one of them upstairs because the other one I've been using and is in the fridge. My stylist actually recommended me a retinol because I tried retinol and I did not react well to it, but I think it was too, well, I know it was too strong. It was the lowest percentage I could find, but she recommended me this Inky starter retinol serum. She recommended it to her sibling and it's only 0.01% retinol, so super duper weak. And hopefully this goes well. I'm waiting until I don't have to go in the office for a little bit in case I have a bad reaction to it. I don't want to show up with big red blotchy angry face if I can help it. I picked up while I was there a replacement of my SPF. This is the Beauty of Joseon Rice SPF. I don't like, there's a blue one. Not quite sure what blue is versus peach. But I don't like the blue one. I find it pills a lot, but I do put a lot on, so that's probably user error. But this is the one I like. I've been using this for a couple of months and I'm a pale woman. I like SPF. And then as a little treat, I got some sheet masks. These were again on a deal and I just really like a nice, I love a face mask, but usually I use the wash off ones. But there's something quite luxurious I find about just putting on a sheet mask. I really wanted to get the one that goes clear over time, but I could not bring myself to spend, I think it was £16 on offer. Could not bring myself to spend that on a face mask. But let's get on to the book updates. First of all, it's Sedating Elaine. I'm DNFing this book. I feel that is the freedom I have when it comes to a library book, that if I'm hating a book, which I'm hating this, I feel it's easier for me to DNF because I didn't buy it. I don't know if that's logic that other people feel, but that's how it works for me. I hate the characters in this book. And I wouldn't mind hating the characters if I was enjoying the situation or enjoying the plot, but I'm also not enjoying the plot. Elaine comes in with all of her boxes and all of her trinkets and her everything, and it's a small flat, and she knew it was a small flat, and she's still bringing her whole life in, and there's no space for it. And she's so loud and she's obnoxious and she's very juvenile. And I feel like in a film or TV adaptation of this, she would be played by Miranda Hart, who seems like the nicest woman, but she always plays the most annoying, obnoxious characters, except for in Emma, where I actually quite liked her character. But she seems like a lovely woman in life, but she always plays those roles where I'm just like, shush, stop it, stop galloping. And I'm a person, I love a gallop, but there's a time and a place. I hate Elaine. I hate her. She's so loud and she just never stops. And I hate her. And I made it to the point where Elaine's mum shows up. And no. I'm not forcing myself to continue reading a book that I'm actively getting enraged about. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to the author, because if I'm hating the book so much, and I made it to page 130 something. So I made it, I had about 100 pages left. And this book was not going to get a good rating. It was not going to get a fun review. It wasn't going to benefit the author. It wasn't going to benefit me. What is the point? Nothing. Take my bookmark out. No. Taking it back to the library. Unfinished. But in lighter news, I have finished reading Workhorse by Carolyn Palmer, and I had a great time with this. I did start this book in May, but that shouldn't reflect my enjoyment of the book. It's just that I had the audiobook, haven't felt like reading an audiobook, so it got put on the back burner. But I've gotten back to it now and I have finished it, and I gave this 4 stars because I had a fun time. I don't think this book needs to be over 600 pages though. I genuinely don't think it does, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I genuinely had a really good time with it. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things really happens. We follow Chloe throughout basically an entire decade of her career and social life on the up. But not a lot really is going on. There's a lot of sort of internal social politics and what can only be described as rich, privileged people drama. And I love the pettiness. I love the 2000 setting. I love the New York lifestyle magazine setting as well. I mean, is it not something that, you know, watching Sex and the City growing up, I was like, the dream, and then The Devil Wears Prada, and I'm like, the dream. Obviously, I did not achieve that dream, but it's really nice sort of seeing these sort of books take place in an industry that as a youngin', I really had hoped to be involved in. The 2000s backdrop, I'm such a sucker for anything set in like the late 90s to maybe mid 2010s. That is the time period, the golden time period for me for a book being set. I can't say no. I want to pick it up. I did not like any of the characters, but I liked the situations they were in. And I don't think you were meant to like the characters. They were not likable people. And I feel like, unlike Sedating Elaine, where I also didn't like the characters, it wasn't painful for me to read these unlikable characters. It was more like reality TV where you don't like the characters, but you know they're going to entertain you. And I felt entertained, and I did sort of have some ponderings about what was going to happen next, and I was genuinely interested to find out what was going to happen. I kind of feel, and I don't know if it's, I mean this is a compliment, but this feels like a vibes book. Sometimes you read a book and it's all about the vibes, and it's less about the plot. There is obviously plot, but it's more just about the atmosphere, the ambiance, and just enjoying what's happening around you. That is what I got from this book. It was a little slice of nostalgia. I do wish I had this as a physical book, not the audiobook. That's me, that's my error. I would have read it in a lot less than 2 months had I had the physical copy, and I would like to get a copy of the physical copy because I would like to read this again. Maybe have a sort of nostalgic reading moment. It wasn't a pleasant audiobook experience, but it was a pleasant book experience. I just feel some books are better as physical books than audiobooks, but that might just be me. I am going to finish this video here. I have started another book, but I'm so not that far into it that we'll wait till next week. And my Sainsbury's order is here, so that's perfect timing. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!